Welcome to Highs and Lows of Mangonomics, the weekly financial soap opera where policies flip, premiums burn, and Redditors YOLO their college tuition into the economic equivalent of a wood chipper. This episode, we're taking a look at my favorite gain from Trump's gem of economic policy coupled with financial destruction this week. Let's begin. So you've just been elected chairman of your own delusions. Congratulations. Your first order of business is to take $400,000 and load it into a 2x leverage volatility ETF. This is kind of like buying fire insurance, hoping your house burns down, then realizing the policy melts if it doesn't happen by Friday. But knowing that didn't stop Roy. Because Roy has a thesis. And when I say thesis, I mean a handwritten suicide note addressed to the S&P. Let me walk you through his note. Roy believed that we've reached a staggering $36 trillion in national debt. Sure, that's true, in the same way the sun is hot or water is wet. It doesn't mean you should short the economy like it's a collapsing bridge. He then looked at Nvidia and said, AI is heavily overhyped, and, because trillion-dollar revenue trends and exponential adoption curves must be fake. Meanwhile, UVIX, an ETF designed by uranium, is the safe play. And then there's the job market. Roy didn't believe the numbers, said they were suspicious, and that really stemmed from his cousin Chad's inability to get a job. So the obvious conclusion there is that the Bureau of Labor Statistics must be lying. And the cherry on top for Roy was suicide rates. Yeah, I'm not kidding, that was part of his economic thesis. So, like any logical person does, Roy goes full port on UVIX. And he waited for 6 months. Markets rallied, AI got hype, and UVIX, being the dumpster fire that it is, decayed like a wet graham cracker left on a radiator. Roy watched his 400K drop to 200K, one candle at a time. Not because the market went up fast, but because UVIX loses value just by existing in any type of market. It even bleeds in bear markets if the bear forgets to scream loud enough. And Roy held through it all. Through the doubt, his decay, and the increasing suspicion that he might have YOLO'd into a financial sarcophagus. He writes that holding this ticker was mentally tough. I was holding a $200,000 loss for the vast majority of the time. Yeah, no shit, Roy. This wasn't investing. This was waterboarding his net worth with leverage. And then finally, divine intervention came. Mango announced blanket tariffs, the market swan-dived into a pool of concrete, and UVIX surged from $20 to $100 in just 4 days. Roy had done it. After months of decay and psychological erosion, his ticket finally printed. He didn't sprint to the exit either, though. He sold strategically. 1,000 shares at 70, another 1,000 at 90, and then 2,000 at 100. At this point, he was already up over $250,000. But instead of closing the trade and celebrating with a nap and a minor stroke, Roy held on to the last chunk. He was convinced there was more juice to squeeze. He was hoping UVIX would maybe rise to 140, because when the market is in free fall and you're winning, the best move is to obviously keep gambling. But the market had other plans. Trump walked back the tariffs with a single tweet, SPY reversed like it never happened, and UVIX cratered to 40 like someone had cut the parachute. Roy scrambled out at 56, still up, but the dream was over. He'd survived the most dysfunctional long volatility hold in history and somehow came out green. Let's be clear, UVIX is not a stock. It's a financial anxiety order with a ticker symbol. It's what happens when you try to day trade trauma. Roy made it out, but instead of taking a breath, touching grass, or God forbid buying a normal index fund, he went right back in, just flipped the coins and called heads this time. And that, my friends, is how you turn 400K into a 6-month psychodrama with a happy ending and absolutely zero character development.